And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of All Aboard. Apologies to all for my annoying voice and for having boring LK here and freezing cold Ned.
Ice cold.
On behalf of everyone, I just want to be the first to wish everyone a happy Hanukkah. LK, what are you doing for Hanukkah?
Fuck off. Jesus, do we need to start like that? Come on.
Listen,
can I just skip this episode? I'm boring anyway.
You are boring.
Yeah.
Well, Ned.
No, it's like you guys are you guys pissing me off today. You complaining about Hanukkah and holidays and all that shit. Fucking Ned complaining about being cold in Florida when it's like 65 degrees. You guys can go.
It's the same temperature as it was in the studio yesterday. 54 degrees.
Yeah, it's 20.
Fucking cold.
Someone play a baby crying sound.
My blood's thin. Like Justin.
There you go. We actually got good topics, and we're going to jump right into it. Yeah. Boys, I am beyond excited. I know the rumors have been going around for a while. We've got a true crime podcast coming. I am, like many others, a huge true crime podcast fan. I'm just dying for this to come out already. What about you guys? You guys excited? Ned, you're chewing. So, LK, you go first. Are you excited about this? Do you like true crime podcasts?
I've never listened to one, so let's see.
Really?
I think anything that Kirk does, it will interest me. Hopefully, it's something that will stick, and I'll be able to follow along. It's not a genre that I've either read or followed in the past, so we'll see. It's going to be an interesting first experience.
You didn't even get caught up into Serial when it was huge, or the Netflix one, Making a Murderer?
So, what Serial? Is that a podcast or?
Yeah, Serial was.
Yeah, so
Serial, yeah.
My first podcast was KMS. So I had never listened to a podcast before.
All right. What about you, Ned?
I like true crime podcasts. Is Serial the one that was hosted by the two girls that were?
No. Well, it was one girl.
Are you sure?
It was Sarah Koenig from.
It was really good. Really good.
Yeah, it was like the first one.
I was into that last year. This year I haven't been into it, but I do like those true crime podcasts very much. So I imagine, look, I'm a homer. So whatever Kirk does, I'll probably like. But I will say that 90% I already like it, and there's been no promotion, and I'm sure I'm going to like it completely when it's on. But actually going down to 3 days a week, we're going to need something to fill it. So I don't know what the broadcast cadence is going to be for this true crime, but once a week will be good.
I think Kirk said 1 day a week. It'd be 3 days a week KMS, 1 day a week. For this. Have you guys started frantically Googling what cases it could be?
Yep.
No, I have a life, Adam. I'm not gonna. That's not my job. He's getting paid to do that. Let him present the case. I'm sure it'll be great.
How about you, Adam?
Yes. You said yes.
How excited are you, Adam? And you started Googling about it?
Very excited. I've been Googling for a while. Every time I saw he said something, I would piece it together. So like Fall River, Brockton, basement, just anything. So this whole South Carolina, Texas, Georgia, all the states he mentioned completely threw me for a loop. I see everyone going around posting on Twitter the cases that they think it is. I actually am sort of leaning now towards what your view is, Ned, where, I'm excited for this and I want to know the case because I want to dig into it and I want to hear Kirk's view of it. And I also just want to know it all. But I think I'm going to back up and try to not find out what the case is until he lays it out.
So do you think he's going to throw some humor and some Kirk style into the whole thing, or is it going to be very serious investigative work?
I think it'll be a combination. He's Kirk. He's going to put Kirk's twist on it. Heard him do serious interviews before. We've heard him do, humorous interviews, just all types of interviews. And I think that it's going to be a combination. It's not going to necessarily be, KMS. Like, we shouldn't expect Kirk and Steve to be vamping off of each other. But yeah, I think that there'll be Kirk. Listen, it'll definitely have Kirk's feel to it. Ned, what about you?
I was just going to say, Kirk is naturally funny. So it's no matter how serious it is, unless it's really, really serious. But as an investigative type of podcast, of course he's going to be inadvertently funny. He can't help it.
I mean,
So,
I'm agree with
so
that
Adam,
no matter what.
so
we're
you,
gonna
you
watch
asked
it.
me the question. Sorry to interrupt, but like you asked me the question
please.
about Googling, and then you said that you're going to stop Googling. So, are you at that point that you want to know what it is, but you want to wait, or are you just going to like try to forget about the subject until the podcast come out?
I mean, listen, I'm sure I'm going to see on Twitter someone post it, and anytime I see someone with their, with a case, I'm going to end up Googling it. But I'm going to try my best to not dig too far deep into it until Kurt, tells us what the case is and drops the trailer or whatever. But I mean, listen, I'm going to dig very deep the whole time. I'm going to go down the Reddit black hole that clearly he went down when he found it. But for now, I'm going to try to pare it back a little bit.
And it was interesting that they said that Justin Duran kind of got it and they had to scrub. So that was an interesting part. And I texted Justin and said, "Hey, tell me what it is." He's like, "No way, I'm telling."
No.
So like,
Good for
oh
him.
fuck. Yeah, I appreciate that. It's not like I wasn't gonna broadcast the whole world, but like it's interesting to see that the least expected person was able to kind of put something. Yep. I don't think he knows the case, but I think he knew enough and said enough that they had to scrub.
Yeah.
That's why.
And also the fact that Carreno knows about it too, and he's kept a very tight lid. So fair play to him as well.
I mean,
my question about the whole thing is, okay, this is going with Barstool's full support. I mean, I think Portnoy's quote is saying, yeah, it could be really big.
Well, Erica's
retweeted it.
Erica's behind it. Yeah. So you got to put your Barstool management hat on and think like, okay, what would be something that we can get behind? I mean, in the Barstool world, there's really, for a podcast, there's no real crime podcast, which could be a new
right.
facet. But it's not related to gambling. It's not related to sports that we know of. I'm pretty sure it's not.
So
Adam, sports, he doesn't like gambling.
You are our resident Barstool specialist here. And Kirk mentioned something in the Periscope like, it's not a true crime investigation like Jared and KFC. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, that he meant from what Jared had said that he was doing something. He was also working on a secret project with KFC.
So it's not something that happened in the past. It's
KFC though has done a lot with true crime, just doing recap shows on big crime shows. So Serial, when that first season hit, Making a Murderer. So true crime has been all over Barstool to the point where also there's a big history with Dave and Big Cat listening to police scanners and other things around the Boston Marathon bombing and trying to quote unquote solve the crime. But ultimately, to answer your question, Ed, I don't think it needs to. I don't think that depends on the actual case. I think that it's more of the fact that what Kirk said today, that's not true crime. Hear a story that happened, and there's someone that either we know did it or is in jail for it, and who knows if they actually did it or not. This is this is a cold case. It is an unsolved mystery, and Kirk and Steve are out trying to solve it. Like, I mean, we all say that we want to, at the end of these true crime series, we want to know the truth and we want to get to it. Apparently, that's exactly where Kirk is going. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's only me, but I can only see like half of your forehead. I don't know if you change your camera or something.
Nope.
No? Okay.
No, you got me. All right.
All right.
I see Adam's I see the new monitor he stole from his office right behind him. I do.
This is not a monitor I stole from my office. This is actually a TV. This is the monitor that I was given by my office.
The real true crime.
So Adam, do you care to tell us about this story that you went to your office and
you went to your office to borrow equipment?
My company's giving out our technology and our hardware, peripheral hardware. Sorry, that's the words I'm looking for. So I have my 2 monitors from work, and that's it. There's not a story here. You guys are just trying to be jackasses.
I'm trying to solve crimes. That's what we do.
Speaking of solving things and what we do here, guys, vaccines for COVID are starting to be shipped. Ned, you're the one who we look at as the expert here. We know that a lot of people are starting to get it in the UK, the US. It's really imminent. There's a lot to dive into here, but I first want to talk and hear from you, Ned, about what your thoughts are on the capabilities of our airlines and our cargo network to even be able to actually ship, store, and provide these vaccines.
Sure. Well, all U.S. carriers, actually all carriers, can handle carrying the deep frozen material over a certain amount of time. It's packed in the deep frozen state of like negative 70 Celsius. And an airline can sustain that temperature in flight and on the ground for, well, as much as the dry ice can take. The real trick will be getting it off the aircraft and to the distribution centers in that state. And then I think I read for the Pfizer one, which is the one in the deep frozen state, it's got to be dispensed within 5 hours of opening it. After that, it starts breaking down because it's a protein vaccine, so it's very susceptible to temperature changes. So yeah, we can do it. I already did one back in August for a big company from Europe into the U.S. into their testing facility, a test shipment. And one flew, actually a series now have flown from Belgium into the U.S. And as supplemental to the production happening in the U.S. What's going to happen is the production for these companies like the Novavax, well, who's not there yet, but Moderna, Pfizer, it's going to happen in the U.S. for the U.S. They're going to produce in Europe for Europe. And then in India for like the Indian subcontinent and the Middle East. So what's going to happen is the U.S. is going to get the countries are all customers of these big pharma companies, right?
So hang on, Ed. I have a question for you because Trump signed that executive order saying that if it's made in America, it's for Americans. Is that just basically a first show and that it was always the plan anyways?
It was the same thing he did with the presidential order for the PPE back in the spring. So if FEMA, like for example, the U.S. taxpayer bought these vaccines, we're getting it for free, but it was $1.9 billion to Pfizer alone. So his order was really, hey, if it's being produced here, Americans get it first, then they can export U.S. vaccines to other countries. That doesn't mean Pfizer in Belgium won't be sending it to the UK, which they already did today, by the way, or to other countries. They have other country customers as well. What that order means? What that order means is what's that?
Which one is the UK doing? Is it Pfizer or
they have Pfizer already, and AstraZeneca will probably be next for them because it's a British Swedish company.
Right.
So like earlier in the spring with the PPE, the gowns, the masks, and the gloves, that was the same thing. FEMA money was used. You could not bring it into the U.S. and then transship it on to, say, Brazil or to Latin America or any other country that needed it or resold, we'll put it that way, until the U.S. market was satisfied, which was about a month to 6 weeks in that case.
So, okay, so I mean that's interesting. I mean, do you think that with the fact that we're pretty much days away from the FDA greenlighting the Pfizer vaccine, and that they've already announced today that it's safe and effective. I mean, do you think that the airlines are just going to be inundated now, or is now the time when our like UPS and FedEx stuff is going to start getting backed up?
Correct. So Operation Warp Speed, which is run out of the Vice President's office, along with the Department of Health and Human Services, they are going to be taking the McKesson. They're going to use McKesson's distribution service, which is a pharmaceutical distributor in the U.S. And run the Moderna vaccine and the AstraZeneca vaccine through their distribution network, which is UPS and FedEx, both air and ground. I mean, it's going to be on the ground too, by the way, because you can go with a team driver from New York to Los Angeles and arrive on the third day. So it's really not that long of a drive when you think about it. I think you probably do even quicker. But if you didn't make your online Christmas purchases by Thanksgiving or maybe Black Friday, maybe Cyber Monday, it's going to be tough to get it on time.
So, Nat, how is the logistics in terms of distribution in the U.S.? Are they going to place in like strategic cities around the U.S. and then from there do like the Amazon approach, like the bigger warehouses and then distribution from there?
Exactly. It's exactly right. They actually stole the Amazon approach, except they'll be with like freezer farms, they're called.
Right.
So they're going to be very large scale, temporary, by the way, portable, easy to put up, easy to put down, refrigerated facilities strategically across the U.S. for regional distribution. And first, of course, will be the first responders and hospital workers, first responders, police, fire, EMT. Then that'll be like starting next week, actually on the 15th. And then in probably as early as January, first week of January, it'll be out to the retirement facilities, old folks' homes, and then into the U.S. with 30 million doses going until we have herd immunity, which they expect is like by July.
Right. And I read that not only first responders, but also some politicians and some rich people are trying to get on the list, right, to get the immunization.
So So Ned, you were talking about these refrigerated hubs, basically. Does that mean that when it does become more mass available and mass distributed, rather, does that mean that they're going to basically send each, let's say, pharmacy that's provided this, or doctor's office, just a small amount every day?
It could be
that they'll end up running out daily.
It could be because they have to have CVS is going to be CVS and Walgreens are going to be big providers, not distributors, but providers. So in each one of their locations, they're going to have that deep frozen refrigerated system to be able to handle 1,000 doses. Not many, right? Not many. So each box, and with Pfizer, they're calling it the pizza box because it's not that big. It's got 5 layers, 5 trays. Each tray has 1,000 doses. So imagine maybe your local Walgreens. I'm just guessing here because this I don't know. Would have like one of those on site. Once it's cracked open, you've got to use it within 5 hours. So they'll probably have the system where they line up at a car, like a drive-through, and you can come through and someone, a technician, will be able to administer the vaccine.
Yep. So, all right, guys. I said last week that I would take the vaccine. You guys said you wouldn't. This week, Kirk and Steve both said that they were changing their minds, that they would do it. What about you guys? Are you still on with not doing it? Have you read anything about the side effects that people have had that have been on the trials?
I will not take it. And we were talking this morning, but I'm getting to a point, and I know I'm joking, but I'm getting to a point that I don't believe in it anymore, as in the virus, because I've been to Florida 3 or 4 times since July. I went to the parks. I exposed myself in a way that a normal person wouldn't, and I have gotten the virus every time I came.
Please.
Every time I came back from Florida, I took the test. Always came back negative, and obviously I'm observing the social distancing. I'm wearing a mask. I'm constantly using hand sanitizer. But I got to a point where I decided to live my life, and I'm gonna do things that I want to do. If I want to go to a restaurant, I will. I'm going to Florida again for holidays, for Christmas and New Year's. So I'm not gonna refrain from living my life. And maybe I'm lucky or not, but the virus haven't caught up to me. So no, I'm not taking the vaccine.
So, okay, first of all, I'll be hosting my 3rd super spreader event in 6 weeks on the 24th. So you're more than welcome if you're down in this area. The one thing I was taking, I was very happy to read about that. My daughter sent it to me, and I don't want to read it here, but it says that nicotine actually prevents COVID. So.
But that's kind of like how every other day a different thing is what
nicotine prevents COVID. Adam, don't ruin it for me.
Listen,
to answer your question,
to just clip.
To answer your question, no, I'm not gonna take the vaccine because and not that I'm anti-vax at all, but I just don't want to have something rushed for something that to me is not life-threatening to me. Now, if I do catch it and I do die, shame on me. You guys can.
Are you gonna die happy, or do you have something on your bucket list that you haven't done yet?
I don't know. That's a good question. That's a topic for another show.
Yeah,
but I'll go like Grandpa Robinson. I'll be very happy. I'll give my money to all the political parties, and we'll go out that way. But no, I mean, you got to die of something, and I'm not worried about that. And if it was like the great influenza of 1919, then I would probably take the damn vaccine because that was people would get sick in the morning and die in the afternoon. So
here's the thing, right? We don't know the long term implications of either COVID or the vaccine, right? So we're
Yep.
fucked. And like
Right, yeah.
the Queen of England can take the vaccine, and we will not know the long term.
She's 90.
Impact.
She's not
Yeah,
taking
exactly. Either she's gonna die, or
Did she say she was going to take it?
I don't know, but she'll probably take it.
No, Jimmy Carter said he'll take it. Well, the man's
Right.
90-something years old.
But at this point, it's only a conspiracy, right? If it's
Listen,
something's gonna happen or not.
Wait. Before you get to that, Justin, can you please clip before where LK said that he has exposed himself in ways that most people don't? Can you just clip that and send it to me? Thank you. You're up, LK.
Timestamp on there.
Yeah, exactly right.
All you need, look, just take your.
No, is Adam trying to be funny? It's like, what?
Yeah.
Just take Adam. You should know your place. Just shut up. Let's net.
God.
Okay?
Just take a Zicam, take a zinc Zicam every day. Now you guys up north, take a vitamin
And
D
smoke,
supplement.
obviously.
Take a vitamin D supplement, or get out in the sun. Drink tonic water. You'll be fine.
Yep.
You'll be fine.
Hey.
Build up your immune system.
Take a vaccine.
Speaking of Adam, he wants to talk about this stupid topic.
I really do.
That is related to aliens and Israeli force and the U.S. government, and he believes that the Israelis behind the aliens and contact with aliens. So Adam, why don't you explain to us what's going on?
Before that, though, we should say we did try to invite Channel Zero E onto the show.
I know those guys big time does, right?
Well, they didn't big time us. They're recording. So I don't know if you want to call it big timing, but they are bigger than us. So and
I'm sure that they're going to end up. Well, I'm sure that they're that they're going to discuss this also. But I guess probably the best way. There you go. But I guess probably the best way to start this is היום נודע לנו שארץ ישראל וארצות הברית היו בקשר רשמי עם חיה זרים. אני בדיוק מאמין את הסיפור הזה. האם אתם גם האמנתם או לא?
What the fuck are you talking about, Adam? Can you speak English?
So in other words, there you go. So today, a retired general, veterans fucking win, a very well-respected scientist and professor, former space security chief, a role he held for 30 years for the Israeli government, Chaim Eshed. He had an interview with a actually very good newspaper, Yediot Achronot, to promote a book in which he claims that the U.S. and Israel have been in contact with aliens for many years and are part of a galactic federation. Now, obviously, this is the type of story that'll get chewed apart for being conspiracy and the fact that he's 87, so he's probably gone senile at this point. But my favorite,
he would have loved this.
Listen, I'm sure they're going to be talking about this. But my favorite clip from the article was that agreements have been made between the aliens and the U.S., which ostensibly have been made because they wish to research and understand, quote, the fabric of the universe. This cooperation includes a secret underground base on Mars where there are American and alien representatives. If true, this would coincide with Trump's creation of the Space Force as the fifth branch of the U.S. Armed Forces. But Eshed insists that Trump is aware of them and that he was actually on the verge of disclosing their existence. However, the Galactic Federation reportedly stopped him from doing so, saying they wish to prevent mass hysteria since they felt humanity needed to evolve and reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are. This is the greatest story I've fucking read. Like, believe it or not, it doesn't matter. This is everything that I wanted to end this year on. It is just fucking sci-fi shit.
I'm going to join LK. I'm going to go on mute. You can.
Well, first of all, that's the best thing you've ever done. In all honesty, do you guys think that aliens exist? Do you believe in aliens? LK, you go first. Ned, you go first.
Oh, sorry, I was myself. But all kidding aside, I think there are alien lives that exist out there. I don't think we're the only ones in this huge space that we live in. But do I believe we are in communication with aliens? Absolutely not. I don't think we are smart enough or have the technology to communicate. So yeah, I do believe in extraterrestrial lives, and I do not believe we are in contact with them.
What about you, Ned?
Statistically, it's impossible that life does not exist, and it has to exist in other worlds. What form and shape that takes, who knows? We're a carbon-based form. It could be another, elemental-based form that is beyond our comprehension. I don't believe there are aliens among us. Our history of, humanity on, not humanity, but life on this planet can be traced to like, that pool or, then there was light, if you want to be biblical. So I don't think it hasn't been disrupted or interrupted over the course of our 4 billion years. It's been just a steady progress. If there was some sort of inexplicable jump, maybe we could have that discussion, but there hasn't been. So I do believe that in there's life in other planets. There's other life out there. I don't believe that they've ever encountered us or we've encountered them. I'd like to think so, but I don't think so.
I mean, obviously, my religious beliefs would tell me otherwise, but I agree.
Sure.
I mean, statistically, it's impossible to think that in the entire universe there's no other life in existence. But I don't know. I disagree with the fact that I don't think it's impossible to say that there hasn't been some type of contact, because we don't need to be smart, LK, to be the ones to make contact with them. If they, let's say, if another race of human or different type of life force, life form made contact with us. And I mean, it's not like I think we're living in, Men in Black, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is, listen, obviously the government has a ton of secrets. Every government does. None of this would actually surprise me.
It would surprise me.
So Adam, it touched a good point. They may have tried contact, like they as in the aliens, but maybe we have no clue what it is. No, who's to say? Maybe it's an exaggeration, but maybe a different kind of thunder might be, a sort of communication that we think it's a regular thunder. Who knows? But there might have been attempts to communication, maybe, but I don't think we are at the point that we can, decode that and have a communication with them. Yeah,
no, I don't think so, because the mind has to comprehend we're trying to put it in our own form and our own formats, and it could take, first contact would be fantastic, right? But what are you contacting? I mean, it might not be anything substantial. It might just, but definitely intelligent. So I think we need to step out of the way we look at what life could be or what life is, and to what life could be, and what form would that take?
Yeah,
I mean, it could be a sound wave.
So,
intelligent form of life.
So, Adam, you said that this scientist is very credible, right?
Yep.
Obviously retired, but what are the odds that he's just like a drunk old person right now, and or senile, and just like blabbing stuff that doesn't make sense?
I mean, senile more than drunk for sure. I mean, listen,
Iraq's right. Iraq's are good.
Iraq. Oh God. Some of this is obviously crazy. He's doing a book tour. This is all for a book. I mean, obviously there's a lot you can go there. He's 87 years old. But I don't know. I mean, listen, do I think that there's a secret base on Mars? No, not at all. Do I think that if aliens did exist and were contacting countries, would it just be Israel and America? I also think that's crazy. I mean, there are definitely holes in this that, I have to
just the sanest thing you've said, Adam. No, I think it would be.
Well, listen, I'm trying. There's only so much I can say as a Mossad agent.
You're gonna go to Uruguay? Come on, really?
hey, no need to make fun of LK's family.
Okay,
but but I mean, listen, there's never been anyone who has had any issues with him or his credibility before. He is still an active professor. So, it's the writing is on the wall that this should have a little bit of credibility. But again, maybe that's the whole aspect of it.
Right,
maybe
so
that's the conspiracy, that it's so crazy. We've been trained to think it's so crazy that
the only thing,
LK,
I don't mean to jump in, but the only thing I would say, not to discredit, that's too strong of a word, because obviously he's a respected scientist. Why didn't he have this all written out and then published after his death? Because now he comes on, they're going to want to, Israel TV is going to want to interview him. He's going to come off as anybody would, like kind of probably a little slightly befuddled old guy, and might not be as sharp as he once was.
To be able to defend him, to
be able to defend his work, exactly. I mean, if he's a writer, someone was his editor, right? Someone edited his story, because writers do that. So I don't know. I just think it would have been better if it's like, publish this, write it, done, publish it after I'm gone.
But then, but what I'm saying is that there wouldn't be anyone to be able to defend it afterwards, and it would lose that.
Then it stands on
itself.
itself.
It'd be very easy to just be pushed aside as another conspiracy book, whereas here he's at least put his name to it.
So-
And he even said that someone said to him, "Why are you waiting till now? Why are you talking about it now?" And he said 5 years ago, nobody he would have been put in a loony bin for saying this.
Here's my
Well, he
argument,
probably would have been
right?
arrested.
Yeah.
Here's my argument, and I read the article that you shared, Adam, and I tried to find for other ones, but it's basically the same text.
Yep.
And in one of the sections, it says that Donald Trump is aware. Donald Trump tried to release information, but he was convinced not to.
Yeah.
So here's my challenge, right? Knowing Trump, he's been the president for almost the past 4 years. He had no filter at all for his own country, right? Anything and everything that he wanted, he tweeted. And now you're telling me that something about aliens that may freak out someone else in another country when he's on his way out is something that he's going to refrain from
Okay,
posting?
hang on.
This he kept quiet about?
Two things. One, way to listen when I speak, LK, because I actually quoted that exact section.
I don't need to use that.
And two, listen, wouldn't you? I don't care how much of a blabbermouth you are. If an alien, the Galactic Federation, tell you not to say something, you shut your fucking mouth.
No. See, I disagree. Here's what I think happened. But I'm sorry, I didn't read the article. When was this alien alliance? How long ago?
So the Galactic Federation has been going on for years and years.
They had an agreement. They had a deal in place.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So they had like the NAFTA of space. So I guarantee you, Trump broke it. I guarantee he knows about it. He probably did a better deal. I'm tired of this deal. We're gonna make a better deal.
It's going to be huge.
It's gonna be huge.
Oh God.
Yep. That's exactly what he did. This deal. Who did this deal?
And on that note, and that introduction from Ned,
Roll on to the next
I
one.
think it's time to wrap it up.
Yep.
Okay, we have nothing left.
Right.
We're all done.
I think that's it.
We're good.
Unless anyone has anything else.
Unless you want to cry more about the weather there in Florida.
It's fucking funny. Actually, okay, it's perfect. I can't. I'm not. I'm just teasing. It is. This is what we wait for all year. The humidity is gone. The sun is nice and warm. It's perfect for the beach. I can't wait to go Saturday. I'm buying a gun for my wife for Christmas and one for my daughter, for our daughter.
Nice.
Before the Biden was sworn in.
Okay, please, before next week, can you do something about your face? And my apologies to everyone who's watching has to see LK's horrendous facial hairless face.
Hell, I thought it was good.
Awful.
Took 10 years off.
Oh my God, he looks awful.
Thank you, Ned.
You look awful.
Team.
All right, everyone.
Team good looking. All right, guys.
Thanks so much.
Thanks
so
for
much for
watching. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Justin.
Like,
Thanks.
subscribe, comment.
Thanks,
everyone.
Justin. Follow us on KMN All Aboard on Twitter, and please download, subscribe, rate, review on our RSS feed.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Yep.